Well, it's 7 losses in a row as the season continues to meander to the finish line. This is the Sash, definitely not the official podcast of the Essendon Football Club. I'm your host, Rob, here with you on a Friday after a Thursday night game. And joining me in studio is Joel. Hello, mate.
Hey, Rob. Fuck the umpires. I reckon.
Yeah, let's just tip on them.
Fuck them.
That's not the reason we lost by 50 points. Yeah, let's tip on them.
Nah,
yeah.
I reckon since Brad called him out in his post-game presser and was saying that like they've gone to him a heap of times and they're not moving, ever since then we've had a really fucking rough run. And I'm not one to call it out constantly, and it's definitely not the reason we lost the game.
No.
But like those holding the balls against Clark early on were fucked. That was
terrible.
ridiculous.
How terrible.
And then like there was that one where he hit up Peter Wright and his arms were completely chopped. I feel like, to be honest, they're fucking us. And you, AFL umpiring department, leave us alone.
Yeah, leave us alone.
We're having a tough time.
Haven't we suffered enough?
Can't you see my aggression is coming from
haven't
a
we
point of pain and fear?
Yeah, I feel like if the season wasn't already done, and you know we weren't in the state that we were in, I feel like I would have been really, really angry in that first quarter because obviously we were missing all our shots. They were getting goals, you know, crappy frees, and then they were nailing these incredible shots. Like I was a bit annoyed, but I was like, you know, the wider context, I was a bit like, well,
fair.
Whatever. But yeah, very frustrating because like I'm sitting there being like, we should be leading this game. I like pre-game. I don't think we're expecting to be leading at many points, if any, throughout the game. But there was a good portion there in that first half. I was sitting there being like, we should be in front, but we can't kick straight, and they were perfect in front of goals.
Yeah, we've got a. We'll get into a lot of discussion about this today, I'm sure, but we've got a significant issue of not being able to capitalise on momentum, and we have for a really, really long time. But there's many reasons, I'm sure, for that, which we can discuss. But let's not get too digressy just yet. I'm sure you had a structure that we were supposed to be seeing.
No, there's it's Friday, mate. There's very little structures here. I mean, like, you know, with an inexperienced side and a very a side that lacks cohesion, that the forward line is going to struggle. But I think what's annoying is that what was failing was just pretty like standard set shots, and people who I would kind of expect to be kicking them, like Peter Wright early on was missing them.
Guelph's normally a pretty good.
He's usually okay. I'm trying to think who else kicked it behind that in that first quarter.
I don't know if it was the first or the second quarter, but he should have kicked that.
Yeah, there was a couple. Let me have a look. There was a Rushed, then there was Oscar Smart, probably should have kicked one. Guelph, Peter Wright again, and then Jordan Ridley. Oh, the Jordan was the second quarter. Yeah. Angus Clark was the first one, right? Yeah. That was right. That's how he took that mark, and then just annoying. Just annoying because I was kind of like, I was sitting at half time, and like, you know, we're down by 30 whatever points it was, high 30s. And I was sitting there being like, this could actually be a close game right now. This could have been a little bit more interesting. And look, you know, they probably would have run away with it anyway. But at least there would have been a bit of something to keep this game interesting. Whereas at halftime, sitting there, gee, do I keep watching? Do I keep persisting with this? You know, I'm sure there are a lot of people who turned off pretty early on, or even left the game early on, judging by the crowd. But
there was a lot of that talk around on the commentary around like, you know, us being like 1 goal, 21 behinds in our last 3 quarters or something like that. When it got to halftime, it was like, you know, because we kicked 12 points in a row or something like that against the Tigers as well. And not good.
No.
But I think, you know, we spoke about this a little bit in the funeral pod, you know, dissecting where Essendon was at in the season as well. And I think there's been a number of games this year where our first 5 minutes, and in prior years as well, our first 5 or 10 minutes, we actually come out firing.
Yeah.
And then we're pinning teams in, and we, you know, have the first 5 or 6 inside 50s, and we have the first few shots at goal, and we constantly can't capitalise on that momentum. And then we don't have strong enough like on-field senior leadership to like capitalise then, or like rescue momentum when it starts swinging the other way. You know, I think if you look at a lot of our games, even against Brisbane and stuff like that, it was those junk time goals that they got that really kept blowing out those first quarters. And so, you know, it's frustrating to watch because I feel like we're trying to come out and do stuff, and then a lot of the points that we're kicking or silly things that are happening that just kind of deflates, and then the other team gets a run on, and we kind of find it hard to stop it.
Yeah, because I think when a team is inaccurate, like, even though it's multiple people missing, I think as a team, you know what's going on. You know that you're missing shots that you should be kicking. You know what happened last week, 5 days ago, 6 days ago. And I think that pressure kind of builds. One behind, okay. Two behinds, all right. Three, by the fourth and fifth behind, you've got guys lined up to goals, and I think there's a bit of extra pressure there.
Yeah.
And you could definitely see that, and it was interesting that it was someone playing their first game who kicked the first goal.
Yep. And the second.
And the second. And the second. And the second. Obviously, you get to have the Essendon effect affect him.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, it's been a weird season like that, because we've obviously had that patch of the year where we were really bad in first quarters and couldn't score, and then there was a lot of discussion about how do you stop that from happening? How do you stop getting jumped? Now it's about trying to arrest, get the momentum early, and then like you said, we've been sort of doing that at times, and then just unable to convert. I mean, it's when you look at the forward line, you look at the guys who are playing there, it's obvious why we struggle to convert, but I think just set shots is just something that you kind of go, you're an AFL footballer. I feel like if you're playing as a forward and that's what you do regularly, those 30, 40 metre shots at pretty reasonable angles, you should be kicking them.
Yep.
A defender like Jordan Ridley, it was in a good spot, but he's a defender. He doesn't kick goals. So I can kind of go, okay, I'll give him a bit of a pass. But some of the other guys, you're sort of Guelph, Peter, this is kind of what you're in the team to do.
Yeah.
And this is something that many clubs and many pundits are always talking about in the comp, is why there is such a poor standard of goal kicking across the competition. And in a game like this, it killed any chance of there being a battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then making the game interesting.
I think it's, I feel like it's very mental for us at the moment. I think, if all of us as supporters are kind of feeling like we just want this season to be over, we've had so many injuries, we can't have more stuff go wrong, these last 6 games are just get through them unscathed. You can guarantee that all the players are sort of feeling that somewhat as well, as much as they want to compete. And, there was some stuff in the media as well, like Paul Roos, there was this quote that really fucking pissed me off, which was...
what did he say?
He was you've got Shield and Perkins and Gresham playing in the twos. He was talking about last week. He's I thought they were all injured. That just doesn't make sense to me why you got those players listening to. I'm
shut up, Paul.
Yeah, it's
fuck off.
Yeah, pull your fucking head in, Paul. They're all in the twos because it's a good statement, a statement that you would have made as coach, that if people aren't up to scratch and we've got injuries, that they should be in the twos. So don't base everything off 1 week and not watching us all season or something like that. But I feel like there's a lot of shit out there that's probably just impacting the players constantly, and no matter how often you want to not read the media, I reckon they're all just shot, and it's going to be a hard 6 weeks.
He's a bit washed up for mine, Paul.
Yeah.
Bit washed.
Yeah.
Obviously, unbelievable coach in his day.
Yep.
But you say stuff like that, and it's are you actually paying attention?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you actually watching the games? I know people get upset about Kane Corns and Kingy, but David King, but they watch the games.
Yeah,
for the most part, they've got a pretty good read of what's happening on the field. That was a comment of someone who's just clearly been hey, Paul, we need a comment about Essendon on this show that you're doing. What do you think? And he'll be what are these guys doing to the team? That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Do some fucking homework.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we spoke a lot about last week, and there's clearly a lot of conjecture in the Essendon faithful as whether Brad Scott has a game plan and is the right person to lead us to final success. And I guess from all the content and comments that I dive into on social media, I feel like the general consensus or the majority probably leans towards the fact that they feel like there isn't much of a game plan, or that maybe Scott isn't right. But yeah, I'm positive on the direction. I just think how are you? I think it's a cattle thing, and it probably has been for a long time. And everyone's we're going backwards, we're playing crab ball, and we are doing that. But if you don't have a team that can dispose that well, and he inherits a list of people that aren't great disposers of the ball and aren't great at two-way running, then we always had issues of getting scored against significantly, and us turning it over and teams easily scoring and running into goals. So the point, he does have a game plan. He's trying to stop the rot.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, give these kids, lessons in how to be contested and how to play contested footy and how to win the ball and how to make the right footballing decision. And it might look ugly at times, but, we were Essendon for so long of like slingshot footy, and it might work for us every now and then, but we would just get scored against again and again. So I think teaching us game control and slowing the ball, given the fact that we have a lot of players that can't kick that well at the moment, is probably a game plan that's sufficient, I think.
Yeah, I think just so much of it just comes down to cohesion. Like, if you've got a regular group of people who are available, regardless of their skill levels, you're going to be able to actually teach them something and teach a game plan.
Yep.
But when you're at a point like you're in this season, like, is anyone really going to learn much in this final 6 weeks of the season or 7 weeks, whatever it is? Like, I feel like you're not going to make that much of an impact on people.
Yeah.
In terms of game plan. I mean, like, there might be little things here week to week, and you might be able to try some things, but any sort of like huge overhaul, like, just not possible. Simply not possible.
Yeah.
I guess if, to wear the dark hat, to wear Mert's hat, like, I think a lot of the frustrations from people that I've sort of read is just sort of like how the club's sort of making the decision now as opposed to feel like why didn't they do it before?
Sure.
But like, it is a bit of that, whataboutism that people always have with things. It's like, oh, we need to do this. Oh, but what about this? But what about this? Like, it can't be perfect.
Yeah, and what's he going to do? He's going to arrive first season and just cut all of our senior players because he's watched them from afar.
Yeah.
You got to give him at least 12 months.
Yeah.
Which he did. Your first year is a free hit.
Yeah.
And then last year, up until around 16 or 17, most Essendon supporters were pretty happy with how things are going. We're pretty quick to forget that happened. And obviously it was fucking tragic the way that we dropped off.
Yeah.
It was awful. But I think we've now learnt that some of our senior players aren't good on-field leaders and they're not up for it. And, we've changed over 25 spots on the list or something like that in 3 years. So there is workings, and it's going to happen more now because a lot of these guys that are mid-season picks are definitely making a statement to remain on the list. And we've got a lot of draft picks and a couple of young NJ guys. So by the end of this year, it's probably going to be 30 plus players turned over in 3 years, which is a significant list overhaul, and it just takes time.
Yeah, it is. It is a big overhaul, and there's, I guess, there is some signs with some people, but yeah, I don't know. It's just honestly, I am emotionally drained by this football club. I am emotionally drained by this season.
That's what gets everyone.
This is the dark point of the season. It's the doldrums. It's the really hard part where for the teams who know that they're done, it's just like, oh well, wait till September and then I'll watch the finals, and then silly season kicks off and we talk about trades. For me personally, and I think a lot of supporters, like, I'm pretty over it. I'm pretty over just like, just treading water as a club.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm happy to start to see these wheels turning and taking a bit of a long-term approach. But at the moment, right now, I'm just sort of like, oh, do I want to watch Essendon? Do I want to talk about Essendon?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just get to round 17 and go, hey, Sash Faithful, the show's done for the year. I can't be fucked. I'd love to say that, but I'm not. I don't know. Like, I think apathy is at an all-time high at Essendon right now, and apologies to the person who I saw someone post this on Twitter last night because I was having a read of some stuff that was going on. Apologies to whoever it said, but I'm fairly certain, if I'm correct, last night was the third lowest attendance we've had at Marvel ever.
Wow.
Excluding the COVID years.
Yeah.
The two games lower attendances were in 2016 with the top-up teams.
Yep.
Look, Thursday night doesn't draw big crowds. Obviously, the Giants don't really have an opposition contingent, but it just shows you that most people are very much like, oh.
For sure.
There's always going to be the diehards, and I have mad respect for those people who are there regardless because you're stronger than I am. I obviously can use the excuse of a small child for that. But it's hard, man.
It is hard.
It's hard. It is hard to get up every week. I can't even know how hard it is a player to get up every week at the moment. But as a supporter, it's very much just like, oh God,
Yeah.
And like you have friends who talk about footy too, and they're like, we're playing this team this week. And I'm like, couldn't give a fuck. Like I'm so off footy right now. Like when September's on, cool, I'm going to be interested again. But I'm so off football right now.
But are you off footy because you're feeling like it's just typical Essendon, or are you kind of off it because like we've had lots of injuries and it's been really hard? Like, because I feel differently this year than I have in last year's. I kind of feel like more positively about things, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I've actually seen glimpses into the future, whereas last year and the year before, to Mert's point, and years before that, it was always just like, this is more of the same.
Yeah, I like it's a little bit of both. I think because of the injuries have meant that I'm basically just resigned to the fact that there's nothing left to gain for this season. And like we spoke about a little bit on the preview show on Wednesday night, that like there are the little small story about individuals potentially earning themselves a spot or proving to us that they're up to it or they're not up to it, those little things. But I feel like it's basically because it's season's done.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, oh, well, there's nothing else to gain. If you had a healthy list, like there's that Nuffy in me, he'd be like, we could beat the Doggies, and then maybe we could go up there and beat Sydney, and then suddenly, blah, blah, blah. Like, you start doing the maths and you get the ladder predictor out. But because that isn't even an option, it's just like, well, we're just not, Yeah. And then obviously just, 20 years of Essendon on top of that.
That does get you.
Yeah.
The Essendon gets you.
Yeah.
But, Dimmer I think they made finals in his 4th season at the Tigers, and they had some pretty average seasons before that. And then they want a flag in his 7th. So I guess I'm not ready to write Scott off, and I think he can be a really good coach. I just think he's been hamstrung, and I'm definitely willing to give him another season.
Yeah.
If at the end of next year it's looking grim, then maybe I'll think differently.
Yeah. I mean, I've like, people who listen and watch this show regularly will know that I've never been a, Scott out person. I've got my questions. I'm sure most of us do. But for the most part, I feel like I've kind of understood what he's been doing. There's obviously been times where I'm like, why are we playing Jake Kelly on a wing? Why is Mason Redmond staying at the centre bounce and then out of there 5 minutes later in round 1? Little things like that where I'm just kind of like, what's going on here? But for the most part, I kind of get it. And it didn't, like, anyone who knew footy could have looked at what we had available to us this year, last year as well, and at times been like, okay, there's still not much there. It's a pretty tough job. So, yeah, it's tough. Injuries don't help. Speaking of injuries, the news of today, fresh off the pressures, head of high performance Sean Murphy has will be leaving the club at the conclusion of the season. Apparently it was a mutual decision, the club says too. Not sure about you, Joel, but a few girls in my life back in the day who I had a mutual decision with where they said, don't call me again. But yeah, I think the right move has happened.
Yeah, and you were doing the oh no, it was me too. Yeah, we discussed it. And,
it was mutual. Yeah, it was definitely mutual. Yeah, no, I'm not crying, mate. I'm not crying at all.
But if they want me back,
yeah. Oh, she's around. Yeah, I'll talk to her. Yeah.
Oh, look, I think obviously something had to happen.
Yes.
I think it's nice that it's happening. It's kind of cool that, again, going to what we're talking about and the changing, like, overarching management of the club. Clearly, it's an issue. They've announced that they're going to be changing it. They've announced they're going to, investigate what's happening with the turf, and they're going to do more spending on that now soft cup. So, like, at least we're transparently making decisions, and kind of the supporters know what's going on in that sense. And hopefully that the players kind of feel a little bit differently about that. You never know what to read into as whether there's discontent or not, but some of the players that they might be discontent with might be those same people who aren't giving us great on-field leadership, and they can move anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting one because when the the Dave Barham revolution occurred and a lot changed, from CEO down to captain, all sort of changed at the club. This was one area where it didn't change at the time. Murphy'd obviously been there since 2020. Look, I can't speak for other people in lesser roles. He's the one on the website. You see him do the occasional report online. So he's the sort of face of it all. So that obviously didn't change. But, from my conversations with, Dr. Damo, when he comes on this show, it's not a black and white thing. every person is different in little ways. And little things here or there can be the difference between like a really good program and it not being. Evidence being it's clearly not working. We know that. But it's surely someone is going to come in and fix this, because this isn't the first time this has happened. Obviously
sure.
to the extent this year has been unbelievable, but like I feel like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like I feel like there's been a lot of times through the journey where we've had consistent injury problems and soft tissue problems at Essendon.
Absolutely. It's been a curse of ours for a really long time, and something has to change. And you can't be a high-performance manager for 5 years and have zero high performances throughout that time and expect, to continue on. So I'm excited for that to be the case. And, if we can attract, like a big name in that area, and kind of show that we're bringing in like real industry leaders who have done a really good job.
Dr. Nuff, we'll get Dr. Nuff in.
Then, maybe that's a nice ticket for us to start attracting some other players from other clubs as well. Yeah,
it's funny. I remember saying, if people who have listened to the show for, God, what are we, year 9? Since early days, I remember when he came into the role after Crowe, and I remember saying, having had a conversation with Damo, I was like, it won't change instantly. Someone who's had a bad injury history doesn't just go to a new doctor and straight away you're fixed. It does take a bit of time, and things can change. Can change, but just because some new person's walking in the door, it doesn't mean that Langford's going to be like, oh, my quad's good again. Suddenly,
that's right.
Suddenly Darcy Parish is like, oh, my calf doesn't hurt anymore. Like I can run again. Stuff like that.
But you look, we don't have to talk about this forever, but even Joe Daniher is such a classic example, and there was a lot of other things going on beyond injury management. But he was a best and fairest winner, and led our goal kicking. I don't know did he win a Coleman? I'm not sure if he won a Coleman with us.
I don't think he won a Coleman.
Best and fairest winner, and then we just couldn't manage his injuries, and then he goes somewhere else and plays consistently. I
just typed in Joe Coleman into Google.
Joe Coleman.
There's
a few Joe Colemans out there, I reckon.
I'm sure there is a Joe.
Yeah,
no, he definitely didn't win a Coleman. Essendon leading goal kicker 2014, 15, 16, and 17. Crichton in 2017. Yeah, so there you go.
So
Premiership player with Brisbane. That hurts. But
soon to be Sam Drover.
But here's the thing. Also, if we just on Joe for a second, yes, there was an injury problem there, but there was also an interest and excitement of footy. The guy didn't want to be in Melbourne.
Yeah,
the guy wanted to be at Meredith Music Festival pounding beers and not being a football player, which is why he retired at the absolute peak after winning a premiership. He's like, well, I've done it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go live in the middle of fucking nowhere near Byron somewhere because I don't want to be a footy player.
Love it.
I've just, it's hard to turn down $800K a year.
Yeah.
It's
crazy that
if I could get $800K a year to go to Meredith Music Festival, I might be the GOAT.
Yeah,
I would be the greatest. I would go pretty fucking hard.
Pull the boots back on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm due. I'm due for a music festival. It's been fucking God knows how many years.
I've got about 4 lined up for summer, and it's worrying me. I'm like, oh no, hell, I don't know if I can handle 4 these days.
You're in your mid-30s, Joel. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep the dream alive.
Keep the dream alive. Yeah. That's one dancer at a time.
Exactly.
I forgot what we were talking about. We
can move on. Why don't we? There was a couple of things in the game that I still liked.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Ask you a question. Will Blackiston be playing for the Essendon Football Club in 2026?
He's making a better case for himself week on week, and we were cracking some gags about it on the funeral pod that if you need a badge, you need to get it now. But it was pretty good last night.
Well, can I get a badge now?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
I hilarious. I didn't intend it, but I believe the kids call it ratioed, which is where your comment gets more likes than the votes. I ratioed the full-time post of Essendon by commenting when can I buy a Blackiston badge, which got more likes, which was pretty funny to wake up to this morning. But to be serious, he's showing some stuff. He's showing stuff from a guy who was playing as the ruck in the waffle. And then he's come in, he's had to play at centre-half back. Yes, he's had some pretty poor moments here and there, but as a whole, he's looked pretty good.
Yep.
He's fit, he's athletic, and knowing the history of our key defenders with injuries, your Ridleys, your Reeds, even Mackay now, and then also knowing that we're potentially going to see a ruckman leave, whether that's a Draper or a Bryan, whoever.
Yeah.
I think it's a really handy option to have someone who can play centre half back and go on the ruck.
Yeah.
He's not the next. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a great centre half back.
Oh, we haven't had one for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. He's not the. Oh, look, he's not Harris Andrews.
Yeah, no. It's not
Nor,
Sam
nor,
Taylor.
nor is he Max Gawn.
Yeah, yeah.
But for a guy who could potentially play VFL and then come in.
Yeah. I agree. I think
why not?
I was really impressed with him last night, and it was probably the first time I've noticed him in that way. If he continues playing like that, then I think there's definitely a spot for him, because you're right. But the back line is where we need support, and can't just be Loves Gaming forever.
Yeah. How the look on his face after Jake Stringer, and we'll get to him in a bit. The look on Lab's face after his good friend Stringer just put his knee on his head and took a mark.
Oh yeah,
he was so upset.
Yeah, he was, and Jake Stringer gave him a shove. Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah. No, yeah, Stringer was in Laverde's wedding party, I think they were saying on the coverage.
Someone in our Discord said that the pair of them was sighted on either Tuesday or Wednesday night, hanging out together at a venue in Melbourne's northwest, just catching up. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. But you're right. Again, we can't rely on Laverde forever, although he does seem our most reliable defender these days in terms of availability.
Yep.
But yeah, look, I'm a big Blackiston guy. It's not just for the memes of just getting around this, random guy who's coming in mid-season draft. I do think he has potential, and I think he, as a squad option, I wouldn't consider him a best 22 when everyone's fit and available, but as a good squad option, I would consider keeping him next season.
I think so. And I mean, he's only played 2 games, but the first game I felt like I didn't really see much, but last night I was like, I can see what they see in this smart kid as well.
Yeah.
He was pretty lively. He was bouncing up really, really quickly when he hit the deck. He got a couple of shots on goal. He took a really great competitive mark on the wing, and then got up straight away and hit a target that created a score for us. So I was like, okay, I see what's going on here, because his numbers in the 2s, I was like, he's not tearing it up.
No.
And he just kind of came in because he had to come in, but I guess I see it now.
Yeah, you can see some of it why I obviously didn't convert those chances, which is annoying. 3 behinds is not an ideal return for a small forward.
No.
But yeah, you're right. There are those moments you go, oh, okay, that's sort of what this is. Because again, from the limited VFL that I have watched this season, again, there'd be a nice goal here, a nice tackle there. You're like, okay. You just don't know.
No.
It's really it is really hard to know, and they were talking about on the coverage pre-game about McMahon, who we'll get to, and it was some players just when the ball's zipping a bit faster, they're actually a bit more suited to that. And again on a bigger deck and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. I'm not sold on him sticking around
Smart
as a
or McMahon.
Smart.
Sorry,
Smarter as on the AFL list. Just knowing that we've got some sort of mid to small sort of size couple of players coming through the academy.
Yeah, for sure.
Your Al-Acha, if I say it right. Swede.
Yeah.
Have you say his name?
Yeah.
Although I think one of them's a bit more of a sort of midfield type.
Yeah, they're both goal kickers though, and they're both smaller goal kickers.
Yeah. Apparently the NGA kids
they look great.
They look great. In the 2 second highlight reels, 2 minute highlight reels, they are going really well.
Well, I see people kicking goals every week. Basically.
Apparently David Roden's kid, who's in our academy, had I think he had 30 or 31 in one of the rep games yesterday.
He's in our academy.
Yeah. So he can go father-son to
Richmond.
Not Richmond, Port.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he can go to Port as a father-son. But he's in the Essendon Academy because they obviously would live in the area, the catchment area. But I don't know if he's underage this year, so if he's the year after.
I feel like I haven't really heard about him this year.
Yeah, I know. So I was just looking through some of the stats that people had put up from the game, and I was like, oh, Roden's kid,
nice,
sick.
Yeah. Well, there was Walker's kid who is supposed to be fantastic.
A jet. Absolute jet.
Nominated Carlton as opposed to Richmond, even though he's in the Richmond Academy.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah, but he's a Melbourne boy though. It's not. It's like because if it was Richmond and you lived in Melbourne, I'd understand. I'd go, David Roden's kid chose Richmond.
Yeah.
But, like, he would still have to move to Adelaide.
Yep.
So I don't know if he had that.
That's fair.
Connection.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if he's going to get drafted. But, yeah, it's an interesting one. So, yeah, look, in 5 years, we might be good.
I think we're going to be. I'm still back in the 2027 finals win.
Yeah.
You know, not just qualifying.
Big call.
Yeah.
It's still a big call.
Yeah.
It's still a big call.
It is.
Yeah, I know I said it was tepid at the time, but you're right. It is, it is a big call. Any other players? Actually, no, sorry. I've got to talk about the Mr. WWE himself, Big Vince McMahon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Look, came in and kicked goals. And it's funny how often we have debutants who come in and kick goals straight away. Like Edwards kicked goals straight away. McMahon, obviously Martin did it a few years ago.
Smart, no, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The Wild did.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that on
Wild
debut?
did.
Yep.
And Clark
Yep.
kicked 3 on his debut.
Yep.
So, like...
Yep.
Why is our best player a debutant each week? That's a question, but you know, good signs. And having someone who can kick straight, looking at his stat line throughout the VFL this year, it really seems like he's not going to get a lot of opportunities, but when he does, he takes them. And that's all you need from a forward is someone who's going to kick goals when they have the chance, you know?
He just seems like a real no-nonsense forward.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just like... has clearly worked really hard at his game. He doesn't have like crazy athleticism, nor does he have like incredible speed. But like he seemed like he just knew where to go.
Yeah,
knew where to have a crack. And lo and behold, gets on the end of a couple, goes back, kicks some goals.
Yeah, great kick of the footy.
Yeah, it's a really nice story for someone who's toiled away in the VFL for quite a while and felt like he'd been looked over a little bit. I think he might have gone to. I'm looking at it now. So he did actually go to Collingwood for a brief period in 2020. But didn't play. So yeah, it's a great story. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that we do have a lot of key forwards, I'd be like, I don't know. But when did Tommy Edwards do his ACL?
Like 2 games in or something like that. 3 games in.
Yeah. So because obviously Peter, Cads, May. Langford. Look, if Langford went, I'd keep McMahon.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? If he stays though and he's fit, I don't know. But good on him.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was really good to see.
Yeah. Joel, I reckon we should do some votes.
Yeah. Okay.
We should do some votes. Sash Fan Player of the Year Award brought to you by Waxit Car Care. Find the best car care products at waxit.com.au. Use the link in the episode description for 10% off. Now, Joel. Bit going on here this week. Some very tight numbers between some of them. So with 1 vote on debut, Lee McMahon.
Yep.
Good on him. Gets 1.
Deserves it. Probably.
Well done, Vince. 2 votes. Haven't spoken about him, but I guess the faithful thought he did right. Xavier Dursby got 2 votes. Had some moments.
He was really competitive, and we spoke about it again on the funeral pod. Maybe he's not the great disposal all the time, but you can count on him to tackle hard and like attack the footy. So it was good. Yeah,
he's a very workmanlike player. With 3 votes, just pipping Xavier Dursby by 2 total votes. Archie Roberts got 3.
Interesting.
Yeah,
he did play a good game.
He was very good. Maybe it was a hangover from last week. I don't know, but a lot of people gave him votes. With 4 votes, the skipper Zachy Merritt takes out the 4.
Yep.
And only beating him by 2 votes, Jordan Ridley takes the 5.
Yeah, he definitely deserves that. It's so good seeing Jordan Ridley play well. It's just like it makes your heart hurt because you know at some stage he's going to hurt himself again. But you watch him and you're just like, fuck, he's such a good player.
There was that one where I can't recall which. It might have been the little guy with the helmet. One of the GWS forwards was kind of running away from him, and like you could see he was really trying to sprint chase him. And I was like, "No, Jordan, don't run! Stop it! You're running too fast. Your body won't handle it."
Yeah.
But thankfully, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure by the time we finish this podcast, there'll be an injury report saying that he did it. I mean, we don't realise it.
100%. I think those are all very fair. I thought Zach played a pretty good game. His last couple of weeks have been good again. Maybe Kako's stiff. I thought Kako played pretty well.
Had some good moments.
And I've spoken about it a few times, but I really want to keep seeing him push up the ground, because every time he is up the ground and he's that one who gets the ball, turns and starts sprinting towards goal, he seems to make the right decision. There's been a number of incidents in the last few weeks where, he's had the ball either on the wing or even a little bit closer towards the defensive 50 arc, and he just gets it, takes 15 or 20 metres and hits the right target. So, I hope we can see him more up the ground in these last few weeks, and I encourage it.
Yeah, he's looked good. It's been interesting because you kind of expected the first year player that they might kind of start to tire a little bit, and he's obviously had some down games, but he's really he's kind of really doing well.
He's a pinnacle in my 2027 prediction, because Caddy year 4, Kako year 3 just sounds like a fucking fantastic combo. Yeah. And then you've got
Clark year 3.
Yeah, Clark year 3. And then you've got, Duz, Caldwell and Mardo now that are like core senior leaders. And I think Duz's kicking is getting better and better and better.
It is.
And obviously we know Mardo can kick, and I think it's like sometimes he bites off a bit too much, but again, the more better kicks are around him, the more time he will have, because the kick that came to him in the first place was better, or whatever. So they're all cornerstones to my 2027.
Archer May?
I really like Archer May.
Yeah.
He's competitive. I think Peter Wright's doing a really good job. There was a couple of ones that he dropped early on in the game where it was like, come on, Peter, you got to take those, and we need you to. So I don't know if Archer May takes Peter Wright's spot in 2 years' time, but potentially.
Yeah. I was thinking of Jackson Pryor, a quick shout out. I thought he had some nice moments as well.
Yeah, he's become a good acquisition, I think.
Yeah.
We've spoken about it a few times, but he was a bit of a poster boy for being Essendon in the first few weeks, but he settled really well.
Yep. I'm just going to get some quick reactions on a couple of players for you. I just want actually give me a number, 10 being a perfect game, 1 being a terrible game. Archie Perkins?
3.
3? You thought he was only a 3? I thought he did okay.
Did ya? I don't know. I felt like he pulled out of a few contests early, and then he was really shaky, and then I
thought he worked into the game.
Stabilised as the game went on.
Okay,
that's right. But I guess
because I had him as a 6.
Yeah, I guess I can see he's low on confidence, and I can see it's just hard because you know how much talent he's got.
Yeah,
but I'm going to stick with it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, David King was ranting about him. Gresh.
3 as well.
3 as well. Okay, I had 4.
What did you have? 4?
I had 4.
I think Gresh is probably going to have to do a lot next year to stay on the list post that.
Yep. Guelph?
6.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he did a pretty good job in Whitfield.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job. He should have kicked those goals.
Yeah, if he kicks those goals, I would have given him a better rating, but I gave him a 5.
I was surprised that he got dropped, to be honest, in the first place. I understood all the others, but when he got dropped, I was like, Guelph's one that I don't think should have been.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's something, again, there could have been some coaching thing that they were we want you to do this, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But it did feel a bit strange because he's always felt like one of the people on the forward line who's pretty reliable for pressure, and also, again, can be that player who can play that defensive forward role because, we look at the other guys in the team. Hobbs never really did it well. Kako obviously is a first-year player. Can't expect them to do it well. Gresham never did it. Perkins doesn't do it, and then you got your key forwards. It's like, well, who's going to be that option if we want to take it? Obviously, we've been blooding some other small forwards as well at the time, but it was a strange one. It was a strange one. Let's take a break, and we'll do some hot takes. What do you reckon?
Hell yeah,
sounds good. This halftime break is brought to you by the Ticket Merchant for the 2025 AFL season. Whether you're looking for tickets to Essendon matches, want to go to a concert, comedy show, or another sporting event, the Ticket Merchant has got you covered. Head to theticketmerchant.com.au to explore their massive range of tickets. Back after this.
Hot takes.
Thanks, Rob. It's that time of the week where we get some totally rational and well-adjusted opinions onto the pod. On the Sash, it's Hot Takes.
Hot Takes.
Hey.
When are we going to hear that song again?
It's only at Hot Takes.
Only in Hot Takes. Yeah. Only in the hot takes. Let's get into it. First one we've got here is Operation Bring Back the Package.
Hey guys, I'm currently at Marvel Stadium in opposite change rooms, hiding in a locker. It's not waiting till after we get smashed by the Giants. But I've got a big wood crate. That's right. I'm gonna lure the package back home. Don't worry, I've got a couple of 17-year-old girls there to look. Stay tuned.
People were booing Jake last night.
Shouldn't have been booing Jake Stringer.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No, that's ridiculous. I think we made the right call getting rid of him. We're not at the right stage for a Jake Stringer. He should go somewhere else. We can get him a deal. So I think it was the right call to move him on. He's a great player when he can be, but he's going to be a much better player at GWS than he is for us at the moment. But yeah, don't boo him. We wanted to get rid of him. He's great. He was great for us.
I like. I'm not sure if you saw Brad's press conference, but he was asked about Jake, and he's like, "Oh, Jake's a fantastic finisher for a side that gets him the ball." I paraphrased a little bit, but basically, he said he's good for a good team.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yep, you're correct."
That is what it's like, and that's the issue with. We've got a lot of players that were like that, would be really good in a good team, but because we're not a good team, they're not good enough leaders to be the ones that are turning us into a good team.
Yeah, you can't have players who are just all out attack, don't bring much else, if everyone else around them isn't doing well.
Yep.
Those luxury sort of players. This is Still Disgruntled.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Like, seriously, you might as well just give everyone else a play in the 4 points, because we're not going to be winning any other matches this season, because it's absolutely shit.
Bringing the Prem vibes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. More chanting.
More chanting. We need more chanting. We need more chanting. This is Warzy666.
There's only one thing that's for sure: if Merritt does decide to leave at the end of the year, can't blame him. But we're set up good going forward, and that's we got Blackiston as our captain for the next 10 years, because that guy's a stud. Let's lock him in. He is the future. All hail Big Blackiston.
It was good to hear Zach during the week shutting down the
for sure,
the rumours.
It was
not that I like. Of all the people, like, he was never the one I thought would go.
No.
I know everyone was like, "Oh, he should." Like, Sam McClure was like, "Oh, he should go find a better club." So should fucking Paddy Cripps, mate, and Charlie Curnow. He's not going to win shit at Carlton.
Yeah, I think that was another thing that pissed me off through the media. Like, Zach Merritt's not going to leave, but even Shane Crawford, like, mate, you stayed at Hawthorn and you had that thing when you were trying to go over there, like, just piss off and let Merritt stay and try and be glory. There's a lot of romanticism in that.
Yeah, if Shane Crawford left Essendon at the point in the cycle where Essendon are now, you wouldn't have won a flag.
Yeah, exactly.
You would have left when they were shit in like 03 and 04, gone elsewhere, and then in 2008 they won a premiership and you wouldn't have been there.
And Zach Merritt's, I get he's, 30 basically, but like he's got another 5 or 6 years of footy with him at least. I think anything goes wrong. He's an ultimate preparer, and if we're going to win a final in 2027 and then push for top 4 in 2028, Zach is going to be a big part of that, everybody.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I like the positivity, Joel. This is the Windy Hill Whisperer.
I have to be quiet because my family is sleeping. But that was all right effort tonight. I didn't mind it. Lots of mistakes, but lots of young kids out there will definitely take that. The package delivered, which was pretty shit. So were we for quite a lot of the game, actually. We kick fucking right goal. 18. Says fucking quarter time. Says red run. But you know what? It's alright, it's not a big deal. Up the Plains.
Do you think we could do a whole podcast like this?
To be honest, I think we're probably going to have to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a school night thing, maybe. Because when we have Thursday night games, people don't want to wake their family. Yeah. It's all right on a Friday or whatever.
Okay. We'll do the rest of the show like this.
All right, that sounds good. Go guys.
I can't do it. I'm terrible at whispering. I'm too loud. This is I'm an Essendon fan. Get me out of here.
This is a pitch to Herbertron. Please come back. I need you, Herb. I do have some ideas
for your new series. If you got sick of the We Are Essington, maybe let's do like I'm an Essendon fan, get me out of here. And it's just 5 minutes of Bombers fans losing their shit for the last couple of months of the season. Don the rebuild. Come on, Herb. I miss you. Up the plains.
I think he's going to post a video this week, I saw.
Oh, I've actually thought this multiple times this year. I'm like, I wish Herb would come post a video because we do all need that.
Yeah. I was thinking, because I think was it last year we did it, or the year before, but he did a live stream, like right at the end of, it was like the last game of the season, we were playing interstate, and it was a dead rubber, and I just jumped on his live stream with him for like the whole thing and just talked shit. I was thinking, that Gold Coast game, what will be the worst game in history? I reckon we should just do a live stream from here, just us watching that, of how bad it's going to be. Yeah,
can we SEN sync it and we'll live commentate the game, and they can turn the mute on and we can commentate the game.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be like a call. It will just be like, oh no.
No, I'm practicing my calling.
Okay.
I've never done it ever before, but I reckon I could do a better job than Jack Rewalt.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to give you the play, and I want you to do it for me. Okay. So the play is end to end. So I'm assuming. I guess I
shouldn't have put myself on the spot here.
Okay. So I guess knowing we're doing team available now. So I'm guessing it's Ridley's kicking out, and we'll say that Archer May is going to kick the goal at the other end. So I want you to do an end-to-end call for me, Joel, on the spot.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
And Don's bringing it in after GWS kick their 15th score in a row. Ridley looks left for the short target, hits up Laverde. Laverde, he hasn't always been a strong kick, but he's back in this team at the moment. Bombs it long down the wing. Big contest. Blackiston flies, drops the marker. But look at Clark pick the ball up and look left and right. There's Caldwell. Who's not playing? There's Caldwell. Out for the hands. On to Kako. Kako sprints forward. Long, Archer May, he's got the footy, he kicks the goal, Essendon down by 60. Not too bad?
That was pretty good.
All right.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I can't imagine like a Fox commentator saying that like someone has a bad kick just as they pick up the ball though, but I like it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm commentating for the fan channel.
You've talking about the fan channel.
Yeah,
that was good. All right, now you might remember I don't know if I want. Dan's lost it. I don't know if I want to play this, but do you remember that weird one about Marjorie?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to have a follow up to that?
Sure, we can cut it if we need to cut it.
All right, let's have a go. This is Pray for Marjorie.
Well. I tuned in last night with great anticipation. Early on, we dominated possession in forward half, created many turnovers and intercepts. I said to dear Marjorie, perhaps tonight's the night. Only thing we're not doing is kicking straight, and our midfield is getting smashed. She looked at me and said, dear, hopefully the Bombs midfield's not the only thing getting smashed tonight.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about those ones.
I'm not sure if it's the half a beer that I've had, but that got me. Even though I knew it was coming. It's like not a surprise. Like I'd listened to it like an hour ago.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. If anyone ever wants to get out of something, Marjorie is playing a good card here. Just be like, oh, I'll do it when the Bombers win.
Yeah.
So like you can get out of a lot of things if you want to just use that as your excuse.
Yeah, good old Marjorie. All right, this next one. Question for you, Joel. To think about accent, real or fake? That's what I want to know. Okay. This is Blackie.
I see David King thinks we're filmed one in Blackiston. I don't know what David King's watching, other than his hairline receding and his melanoma-prone skin turned to cheese. I mean, Blackiston sounds like a made-up name, first of all. And number two, it's like he's in witness protection program hiding in plain sight. Just don't see it myself.
Real, I'm saying.
You going real?
Yeah, I'm going real.
Going real. Okay.
I thought this was pretty good if it was fake.
It started weird, and I was like, what? I couldn't get it, and then it kind of settled. Obviously not our friend Rory, but
No.
yeah, good to get.
They might know each other.
Hey, they might. They might. Yeah, we're getting an array of accents this week, which I like. One's come through since the start of the show, and I haven't listened to it.
Okay.
Usually I wouldn't play it, but I like the name of the title.
Okay.
So
what do we got?
This is Adrian Dodoro funny story. So let's see if this makes the cut.
I hope so.
Wait till you hear this, mate. So this club makes me list manager, and they're all like, "Oh, get us some good players, mate." So get this right. I go find the shittest players who just don't want to lay a tackle. Oh, how good. Playing footy, but they love a good contract. Beautiful, some perfect premium ball watchers. That's what we'll give them. I was like, "Oh, mate, you shit kick. Congrats, you're now an AFL footy player." But then with that, I'm like, well, fans are going to hate me, so like I'll pull some great players out of my arse for SSP or mid-season draft, so when they talk shit, they have to give me credit. But then this club, right, tries to get rid of me, so I'm like, right, fuck that. Call up my landscaper, get him to fuck up that hanger real good, like get in there, slip some concrete or whatever, make their legs fucked, right? And I just piss them off. I piss off and sue them, mate. How funny is that?
Okay.
It's not very funny.
No. So you can leave it in or not leave it in, Rob. But I think what we should do is we should give this person some advice whether you leave it on. You know who you are.
Yeah.
If your hot take was sent through as we were recording this show at 2:30, what time did you receive it?
It says an hour ago, so like we had 2:30.
2:30.
3:30 now.
2:30 on a Friday. You know who you are. You see this in hot take. The point of your rant is good.
Yeah.
Way too long.
Yeah.
In and out, mumbly to like clear speaking. And yeah, you went on to about 6 tangents. You got to use the star answering question for your thing. Situation, task, action, result. Okay.
Okay.
It's got to flow clearly, and then you'll be straight in here. And you can't make 6 different gags. It's got to be cohesive.
Got to be cohesive.
Just a little bit of a lesson there for all future hot takers.
There's a recruiting lesson there from Joel. I think we could all. I think we could all take a bit of star on board for the rest of our days. What is it? Situation.
Yep. Task. Action.
Yep.
Result.
Action. Result.
Yeah. So this was the situation.
Right.
This was what I had to do. These were the actions I took,
Yep.
and this was the result.
Okay. So the club's injury list is fucked.
Yep.
So we got rid of the high performance manager.
Well, yeah. So you're
So the task is to find the task is to figure out why that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
The action was that we got rid of the head of high performance, and the result is a flag.
Yes. That's the 100% perfect answer. You're hard.
Wow. Oh, I've just got a job, everyone. Happy days for me. Happy days for me. Joel, I reckon that's a fantastic note to wrap up the show with us getting a lesson in recruiting. Final thoughts from you before we break?
I'm going to try. I thought I wasn't going to go to the footy anymore, but I'm going to try and go to the footy again now a couple of times this year. I think I saw enough last night to make me like, you know what, we probably should go out and support some of these young guys. So go to the footy.
Go to the footy. I like that. That's a good message to take on board. Well, faithful, that's all from us for the weekend, or for the week, rather. We'll be back on Thursday next week for the preview of the Bulldogs game, which I'm sure
You don't have to go to that game.
I'm sure none of us are looking forward to. But look, stay safe, have a good weekend, look after yourselves, and yeah, just remember, there's a lot going on in life outside of footy, even though footy's pretty bleak. I think last night, seeing obviously the great work the club does with Challenge, and the cancer charity, and like seeing all those kids who are going through some horrific things, and you have to just take a step back and go, look, footy's not that important compared to some other stuff. So enjoy your weekend, look after yourself, stay safe, everyone. We'll see you next time. Go Dons.